Okay, I'm going to confess something. I did not believe any of the older individuals, including my mother, when they said that things are going to feel a little bit different in your body when you start getting older. I don't know how I managed to do this. I sneezed, coughed hard, and I felt a very odd pain down my back that went down my leg. And I went, oh shit, to the point of where I grabbed the countertop, like, whoa. And then I went, oh my God, I am 25 years old. Is it happening? Clutching my invisible pearls. I was like, there's no way. Anyways, that's not what the point of today's video. Hi everyone, it's Isabella here and welcome back to the channel. Today's video, I brought out the iPad, y'all. I have notes because I want to really talk about something that's been really interesting to me for quite some time. And I didn't know exactly what angle I was going to approach this in because I think there's such mixed conversation. And then I thought, oh, well, there's the answer. It's a mixed conversation. That's a goal of being online talking about this stuff, is we have conversations about trends. And today we are talking about the obsession with rich influencers, because whether you do see it or not, there is this obsession and culture around watching and obsessing over rich influencers. And there's a wide conversation. There's some people that are like, why should it matter? They've earned it. Then there's a conversation of, okay, well, at the same time though, this does feel out of touch. And I think there's a lot of great perspectives on both sides. So that's what we're going to do today. I want to whip out examples of what I'm talking about, what I'm seeing tagged the most in the excessive rich influencer content, and we're just going to dive into it all slowly as we process this video. So it's going to be really good. Grab a snack, grab a drink a cup of water, mama, if you haven't already. Buckle up, get ready, because we are diving into, are we being too irritated over this, or is there some validity in the argument? So before you hop into today's video, don't forget to hit that thumbs up button, subscribe to the channel, and click the bell button down below so you'll be notified of every single video I post. Now, real quickly though, we need to talk about the sponsor of today's video. Here's the thing, divas. Obsessing over rich influencers is really not the vibe, unless it's a complete game, which is so perfect because today's sponsor literally fits the vibe of this video too well. I want to quickly take a moment to talk about the new game that I have been absolutely in love with, Influencer Story Rise to Fame. Do you guys remember those games where we played when we were younger during sleepover nights, where we could dress up, play a character, and really control the storyline and how things went for us? This is why I've been on my iPad for so long. Influencer Story Rise to Fame is a captivating fashion simulation game that puts you in the role of an aspiring influencer. You start your journey from the ground up and you choose how your experience goes. You get to explore the world of social media, customize your wardrobe with trendy pieces, engage with followers, develop skills, and collaborate with fellow influencers on projects. And with a wide range of stylish outfits and accessories, players can design their own signature look and express what makes them feel unique in their own universe. So I would like to let you know, according to my stats, because I've been playing this for quite some time, first of all, look at my character. She's adorable. I named her Stella. I don't know. I thought that was the vibe. I have some fur babies. I know one of them I named after Lila, my real fur baby on the couch right here. I do have one girlfriend and 3 boyfriends. My favorite boyfriend is Damien right now, and we are having a blast. And also currently I'm on a trip to Japan. It is so fun. It's getting wild over here and I am having a blast. So if you guys want to play, just click the link in the description below to download for free and use my code Rise to Fame to get 300 diamonds and 10 free draws for some fun clothing pieces, which is a great start for your first viral look. Go grab your free diamonds and let me know what your influencer persona looks like. Thank you so much, the sponsor of today's video. And now let's get into it. Okay, so first things first, let's dive into the premises and just introduce you guys to the internet topic when it comes to rich influencers. And it dates back way farther than this, okay? When it comes to rich influencers, if we're gonna go back to let's say 2016 internet, when I was a baby, a newborn practically, posting on Instagram, some of the content that I would watch would be some influencers because it was kind of more of a new realm. And this new realm of influencers was something that we weren't really used to, because influencers then weren't a celebrity necessarily, but they were a real person that we watched before our eyes blow up and make so much money off of social media. So it was really, really cool. And seeing this was also great because it was a way of accessible celebrity where we see somebody that we're it's like if you see your neighbor winning a lottery ticket, suddenly you're like, well then shit, I gotta go down to the 7-Eleven and get the Powerball. Your brain goes, oh, maybe I can too. You see somebody in proximity to you that you connect with, and then you go, wait a minute, maybe I can be that as well. Or not even just that with the aspirational aspects, but sometimes people are interested. We unknowingly look at some people who have money and then go, I'm so curious about how you live, because if you have money for this, you got money for other things. So how do you live? How do people live? Because sometimes it gives us, things to put on the vision board. It's it opens up a world that you don't get to experience. And one thing I know about the internet is we're all very interested in people who don't live lives exactly like us. But now, as we've slowly seen a huge shift when it comes to social media influencers, we're seeing more of them, of course. I am one of them, I'm gonna be real with you. But then we also see more people that aren't necessarily attainable rich anymore, and some people who are posting up things that are incredibly insane. Now, there is a topic of conversation of time period, economy, and hauls, and how they're going to feel very, very different per what's going on in the country. And I think that's very important to talk about right now in this day and age, and how people are going to perceive these hauls. So let me pull up though an example video of what I'm talking about. So the first one I want to highlight is Becca Bloom. Now, some of you guys are going to be familiar with this name, but if you're not, she apparently is from a like billion-dollar family. The woman is rich out of your mind. So this is an introduction though to somebody who didn't start off by making content and then became rich. This is someone who was already rich to begin with, and he's utilizing it for content. So let's talk about this kind of post.
Everything my husband got me for our anniversary. First things first, he got me a crystal Judith Lieber bag. Next, we have a little bracelet. Dun, 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 dun. It's a classic red bracelet for Chinese New Year. I've had about 3 of these, but I keep losing them. We have a custom silk pillowcase and a water bottle. He got me 2 Dior sweaters. This one has a star in the middle. Star! And the second one has little angels on it. I didn't think he could get me any more flowers, but he did. The Lego kind. He got me 3 Twillies. Don't know where I put the other 2. We have another sweater. This one's from Loro Piana. It's a simple cashmere hoodie.
This was posted up a day ago, and it looks like a very casual, you know, like wedding anniversary post, which is all fine and dandy, except for Becca, like I said, is a incredibly rich woman, like an unrealistic level of rich and not necessarily self-made. So some of the comments are very, very mixed when we see just this video right now, right? We see some people that are like, this is so excessive, ridiculous. Like, are you serious? Annoying. No one should be watching this or posting this right now. And then there's other comments that are like, oh my God, this is so cool. Goals. I literally love this. Oh my God, those flowers are beautiful. Like, we're seeing a wide variety of comments on this. Now let's show the next one.
Plate my New Year's breakfast with me. Our chef made sure to prepare very lucky foods today. It's the year of the horse, so I'll be eating off of a horse plate. We're gonna start off with some dumplings in the shape of ancient Chinese gold. On the bottom, we have some shrimp dumplings. Next, we have some abalone. And to make this year sweet, we have some egg tarts, a blue egg. We have some caviar for seasoning. Little chunk of homemade granola bar. Lastly, we have a cup of warm bird spit. Happy New Year.
I think with the conversation on rich influencers, I think we are forgetting the fact that there's different tiers of them, okay? And this is something I want to talk about because there is a very drastic difference between the born rich individuals, the out of touch born rich individuals, the not born rich became rich individuals, and then the out of touch not born rich but became rich individuals. There's like 4 different categories here that we need to like, what is it? It's like a 4 category like Venn diagram. They all have something in common, but there's still differences in between, and I don't think some of them should be treated the same. You see what I'm putting down? You see how the Uno cards are laid out in front of you? Okay, great. Becca Bloom in this video, for example, someone who was born into money, and I think is kind of out of touch, okay? And some people are gonna be like, whoa, what? Why are we saying that? And the big general conversation around rich influencers is it's always the way you do it. Now, there's always gonna be people who are irrational and awful and mean no matter what you do and behave. Like, girl, I have people that harass me and like, I literally could fart in an octave too high and they're gonna be mad, okay? Like, there's nothing you can do about that. From my perspective, I don't think it's wrong that somebody has money, but I do think with the way that you handle your conversations about money tells me a lot about who you are. And so I get a little bit confused when I see content like this, because my thing is like, what's the point, right? Because in my brain, and again, this could just be me, but my brain, when I think of content, I think of what is somebody going to get out of this? Sometimes simply showing something out of sheer curiosity could gain a benefit, but do I see any other content that's countering that, right? It's like, it's a balance of selfish versus selfless content. And so I see this and I go, okay, well, maybe this is entertaining, but is there any other value or significance offered? And to me, the answer is no. I don't see anything of significance besides let's show off my wealth. And oh, I am like the person that will show off how rich I am and people are curious. But it also, in all seriousness, this is really alarming if we think about that. But I am always shocked when people who have a demographic that is heavy from the US, suddenly shocked as well when they handle conversations about money in an out of touch way. And then the same audience is like, well, I don't really like you, or I feel that this is gross, because some people are struggling. Now, this also leads into my conversation of when we see people that are doing really good, when we're suffering as well. So a great example of this is, I don't think, and maybe this is a hot take, I actually don't think people would care as much about the rich people hauls and the rich influencer hauls if they weren't suffering themselves. But they weren't suffering to the extent that we see now in this country when it comes to paying bills. If we simply look at any numbers showing things like rent, basic necessities, prices, they have all shot up ever since like 2016. So with that perspective in mind, we can understand that somebody who isn't really doing well, has to work multiple jobs to support themselves, has to always think to take care of all these little things that happen, aren't able to do the bare bones basics, is not not going to really connect or give a shit or see that content as aspirational anymore or just fun because they're not doing well. Whereas maybe, for example, if we have people who were able to easily have their basic needs met, didn't have to exhaust themselves for work, they probably wouldn't give a shit as much because it would be like, well, okay, I'm taken care of, I do well, I can live comfortably, and you do your thing, right? It wouldn't be seen as such a problem. But right now, we see such a massive shift when it comes to ultra wealthy versus people who aren't doing so well that it feels very out of touch and disconnected. I think that people should have conversations about money differently. Like for example, okay, this is a great example of this that I want to point out. I'm going to say a word in 3 different ways and you're going to get the vibe. No. You see, different ways of saying things mean everything. I just said no in totally different concept. It's all about the way you approach conversations. And it's the same tone as like when people have like arguments. It's like, it's not what you said, it's how you said it. I absolutely think the conversation of wealth in the influencer industry is about how you say it. Because what is your goal with talking about money? How are you approaching it? How are you expressing it? And also, how are you expressing your gratitude for things? Because a pattern I unfortunately see with a lot of creators that are in the mega rich world is they genuinely forget where they came from, or they are so never been connected to anyone who is poor and struggling, and they just don't think about a world outside of their own, so they don't think to express that they're appreciative of it, and they do actually have it lucky, whether they did actually like work for it really hard or they just were born into it. It's not wrong that someone has money. It's about how you handle it and approach it. So a caviar morning, it feels really weird to me because like there's people who are questioning if they should put, $7 of gas into their tank, or, oh, can I go and get that coffee I've been really wanting from Dunkin'? You know what I'm saying? Like, it is a very different world. Now let's look into another example of someone who was born into it as well, that while it may come off as kind and peaceful and like playful, it still feels odd.
What I spent in a day as a stay-at-home daughter living in Singapore. Breakfast today was free since I just had some macaroons at Van Cleef. I have a super fancy lunch today and I didn't have any jewelry to wear, so I figured I may as well just pick up something new. I unboxed my new necklace as soon as I got home before I rushed off to lunch. I'm going to count transportation as free because I took my parents' car. My grandma's family friends with the Audemars Piguet family, so they let her host her annual Christmas luncheon at their AP house here in Singapore, and as a guest, obviously lunch was free for me. My favorite dish was the gold-plated potato patties topped with caviar, and obviously I had to bring my best friend as my +1, which was such a mistake because we ended up influencing each other to both put our names down on the wait list for these watches, bringing my grand total of to date to a fat 0 because I charge everything to my dad's credit card. Bye!
I don't think she really is doing this maliciously. I want to make that very clear. And I also want to make clear with this video, my goal is not to be negative and pissed off about everything. Absolutely not. But I do think it's good for conversation. I think you can understand how someone could feel very odd and uncomfortable because someone can just casually throw out somebody's yearly salary out in the month like that. Or if anything, even if they are talking about stuff like this or showing vlogs like this, what other content are they offering that provides something? What are you giving back to people? I don't think they're trying to make money off of social media, but I do understand that they are getting attention simply because of how rich they are. So I don't necessarily think that's bad, but like you understand where I'm getting at. When a lot of people are not doing well, are feeling off, are feeling like they can't afford basic necessities, it's not going to, it's going to get old after a certain point. And don't get me wrong, at first these videos are quite fascinating because I can't lie. You know how many times I have been imagine being able to live like that, just out of curiosity. And I'm always going to be very curious about people's lives outside of my own, just because I like to know how others live. But after a certain point, when is enough enough? When are these people, if they're wanting to be in this space, going to be held to a higher standard, or where they have to provide some more value besides, let me show you how much I spent on my dad's credit card? Because I'm telling you, I would feel 10 times better consuming this kind of content if I saw that there was significantly more value being put in for the average everyday consumer that had nothing to do with money. But what I'm noticing is some of these creators that were born into money, that's all they can think of and all that they're known for, and so they just lean into it instead of thinking, hey, actually, I have this really cool passion for art, this sport, or, for this kind of philanthropy. You know what I'm saying? They're not taking us along with those experiences. Instead, it's, well, this is how much money I have, and here's the very obviously expensive thing that I just bought. It doesn't feel right. So I do think to some extent, some people who are simply born into money and don't have more experiences outside of their own lives end up becoming more out of touch with their content because they're not thinking about the people who are viewing it. But I do get very uncomfortable at how quickly some people are to not considering other people's lives and experiences outside of their own and how it could be perceived. But because there is an audience and demographic that is so this this is interesting, this is cool, and watch it, whether it's support watch or hate watching, no one's considering or thinking about it because they're getting support regardless. Okay, now let's look at another example of this. Her name is May, and she, oh goodness, I'm gonna be honest, it really bothers me when I see people who post up shit like this where it's like hashtag rich talk, hashtag rich kid, hashtag what I spend in a month, hashtag monthly wrap up. Like it's very specifically catered to post rich stuff. Is this all you have to offer as a human being? Like, are you that, again, like I'm not trying to be a bitch here, but like, are you that boring as a human being? You have no personality to you that you have to show off how much money that not you have technically, but your parents have? You know what I'm saying? Like, you got nothing going on up here?
Let's calculate together what I spent in December. My rent here in LA was $14,125. I spent $53,400 on shopping. Food, I spent $4,178. On angel trees and giving back and like giveaways, I spent $13,291. On transportation, I spent $9,673, but that's because I booked a business class trip to Hawaii next month. I've been really good and haven't gone clubbing, so that was $0. My mortgage back in New York was $8,900. My HOA fee was $1,468. My parking for 2 cars is $700. Wi-Fi for 2 spots is $250. Car payments are $4,700, $4,000 for my G-Wagon and $700 for my Range Rover. My December total comes out to $110,685, but I did like Christmas shopping and stuff, so... And I gave back a lot, so it's not bad. I love you guys, and I'll see you in my next video.
I do understand the idea of, okay, well, she gave back, right? And I think that's really, really great. But one thing I want to say about this, that's the bare minimum of a rich person to do. If you're able to blow 110 grand a month, I should see you giving, if you were able to casually say, God, basic, Fruit of the Loom socks aren't good enough anymore. If I can drop $100 on socks now at Gucci, mama, you can drop way more on helping other people. That's just bare minimum what I believe in. But if you're so bored to where you just can throw out money for things that like shouldn't even cost that much, that's when I'm like, okay, so we want to keep it so bad that we'll blow it on anything stupid and we don't want to give it to other people. To me, this is out of touch. Why is it that all I see from some of these creators is talks of money? And again, if it was a better conversation about money, it'd be like, hey, this is how much I make a month, but this is what I'm doing to budget it. These are the money tips that I've learned. Here's what I'm doing. Like conversations that connect the community. This is simply like, hi guys, I have a lot of money and this is what I did with it. Again, like, is that all you can do? I don't know if this is like maybe once again, when you have so much money, you don't know what to do with it. It's the next thing of, oh, I'm bored. Might as well become a content creator and share it because that's the next like fun thing to do. I do think that it is quite realistic to say this feels really weird. This feels really odd that all you talk about and all you're interested in is money and not even in a way that is teaching people how to become better with content or making money or growing a business, right? Teaching people about the things that you've experienced, even like down to conversations. I think it would be more interesting to hear about somebody who grew up really rich and the things that felt different to them or what they learned growing up, money habits that they were raised on, that kind of stuff. But I don't really see a pattern of any value given to their consumers or audience members, period. And I know a lot of them are not taking like sponsored deals and crazy paid ads, but regardless, I do think if you want to take on the role of being known for something and providing and people being a part of that life, I also think that you should want to participate in giving back to it as well. So it does feel kind of weird. Okay, next, actually, I want to talk about influencers that have no money before and grew up to actually having money. So one example of this is Mikayla. Mikayla is a very big example of somebody who I think went from having nothing to blowing up and having millions of followers and being incredibly rich. I know there are creators that do exist right now that are in touch, but the problem is they're not highlighting these videos because they don't do anything problematic enough to be found. But let's show her luxury haul because this one actually started some controversy a while back.
So I went luxury shopping and completely blacked out. Stuff I got from Louis Vuitton is literally so good. Like, I can't even tell you how good this haul is about to be. I could not say no to this. I couldn't. Hello? This is the winter bag of my dreams. Just to show you up close, it is very cool. This is a pair of shoes. They have such good shoes. Oh my God. Look at the gold heel. And they're very comfortable. Oh my God. The little LV on the front. Oh. Clearly, I'm gonna be wearing boots all winter. This is either shoes or a bag. I thought this bag was so good. So different for Louis Vuitton. How cool. Like, this will look so nice with all my fall outfits. Everyone's very into keychains right now, so I had to get a chain. It adds a little something to the bag, like the cham. Oh my God, so.
I'm just gonna be honest with you. So far as we're looking at this video, we haven't heard anything acknowledging the fact that she is blowing a very unreasonable amount on this, because the total actually in the comments says that roughly $161,258 for both of her haul videos, totaling up to over someone's yearly salary. That's crazy. It says, for anyone who's curious, this diva deserves it all and she liked it. So it sounds like that's a pretty good clarification if that's exactly how much all this stuff costs. Really have such an issue with this so far as we're getting into this, because I love seeing people win. I am always going to love seeing people become successful. And I am not one of those people that believes in, oh, well, the second an influencer gets rich suddenly, I don't like them or connect to them, because they still can and absolutely have the capacity to be that same person. But I am just not a fan of the way that these are being handled. There's no acknowledgement of anything here. And I do think that that should be acknowledged. I do think that it shouldn't be just this unspoken rule, because sorry, there have been many times where Mikayla has been caught being out of touch. She was the one that coined the term, try being an influencer for a day, which is one of the most embarrassing terms I've heard yet. So yeah, considering your track record, I don't know why. Again, to me, this is one of those people that absolutely forgets where they come from.
Cool. This is a pair of sneakers. Typically, Louis Vuitton sneakers are not the most comfortable unless they're this style. These are very flexible and comfy. These are a very good casual sneaker, and look how cool the bottom is.
I also want to point out that I believe not everything should be online, and I do think that people need to read the room like Mikayla and go, okay, this can be online, maybe this shouldn't be. Because after a while, it does kind of feel braggy after a bit. And yeah, somebody can absolutely work really, really hard for this kind of stuff. Again, like, when is enough too much? It's also not like she's just going on a trip and like it so happens to be where someone finds out that the place that they're staying is like $5,000 a night. It's very like, look at what I bought. And I'm sorry, but that does feel crazy to me when people are struggling in this economy to show, like, it's one thing to be like, I went shopping, here's my favorite bag out of this haul, I think this is really cool. Or if anything, going, I did make a really big purchase. I really, really have been excited for this. I've always wanted to do this in my life. This is how much it is a lot. I also, again, want to highlight that I have been doing a lot of X, Y, and Z donations as well. So you know that I'm giving back to the community and trying to support really good causes. So these are the things that I did purchase. I know this is a very unrealistic, crazy haul, but I want you guys to know that I'm incredibly grateful, and I want you to know that all this wouldn't be possible without you. It's not hard to say that. So this is what irks me. When I see creators like this who are like, why do people not like me? It's not hard to acknowledge your audience members. You didn't have a problem acknowledging them when it benefits you. Why can't you thank them? I just can't fathom not thanking and acknowledging people more.
I love that. I told you guys I like blacked out. This is the bum bag. They have this in so many colors, but this fits so nicely across the chest, or you can put this on your belt loop as like a fanny pack. It's perfect. It fits my wallet and phone. The box that they gave me this next thing in is ridiculous. Like, why did they need a box that big? These might be my favorite shoe. Oh my God. Oh my God. These are gonna look so fucking good on me. I'm just saying. I freaking love this heel. And the little LV, oh, and the material, like, oh, they're so good. I love that this is one of the boxes I got. These are so cool. They're so freaking cool. Like the chain and the LV strap, are you freaking serious? Last pair of shoes, another fave. These were very comfortable. Just a simple, shiny black heel. I loved how easy they were to walk in. These will go with absolutely anything. Trying to figure out what this is. It's like a poncho vest. It's really cute and comfortable. You can put this over any.
Okay, so by the way, I also want to say there were some comments with this video specifically that was like, oh, well, the only reason why these influencers do these hauls is because it's a tax write-off. I really do want to let y'all know that I've got an accountant, she's awesome. You can't like write off all of that money. Like, it's not like I show off $161,000 in a haul, all of a sudden all of that lowers that's not how that works. If you are somehow able to rationalize and negotiate the fact that this is worthy for business, and there's a percentage used for business, and it benefits your business, and it's realistic, then it could probably be maybe a percentage. But even still, I do not believe her tax professional was able to probably write all that off. So I just got to put that out there. But what I will say is, regardless, it doesn't feel nice, right? there's a very big difference between I blacked out and I just casually dropped $150,000 versus, hey, so I did do a really cool thing. I want you guys to know what I am doing to give back because yeah, if I have money for this, I have money to help other people. This, you know what I mean? Like there are two different ways that you can handle this. But to me, this feels very out of touch. And it wouldn't feel so out of touch, I think, if the conversations were handled better. And additionally, I think that more content creators need to remember to realize what's happening right now in the economy, right? How, or if you're going to talk about money, consider what's happening right now in our world. Because yeah, like I do think if people were living better and we're living more comfortably in the United States right now, and we're suffering so bad, I 100% think that these conversations would not be as strong, because if everyone's comfortable and able to make livable wages and do really well for themselves, I don't think anyone's going to feel as bad. They're like, okay, cool. Regardless, my belief still stands that you need to be very courteous and kind and acknowledging your followers when you talk about big purchases like this. But again, I don't feel people would be as upset, but it's about reading the room. And I think a lot of these creators, unfortunately, aren't necessarily reading the room, and it does feel very uncomfortable.
Think about the angel tree. I don't know what the hell's going on in my comment section, but I always plan to do it on December 14th because I'm getting together with my college friends that day, and that's the day we're going to do it. It does say it ends on the 15th, so that's what I plan to do. Now, if it does end earlier than I thought, and I'm not able to do it on Sunday, I've donated $25,000 to the Salvation Army, and that will do a lot faster than I can do going to Walmart and buying angel tree stuff. But I'm still going to attempt to do it if they have it. But I just want you to know, I donated $25,000 to the Salvation Army. You can go on my Instagram. I posted the receipt.
Even, for example, Jaclyn Hill is another, I'm so sorry, perfect example of this, where, oh my God, let me show you this expensive thing that I purchased. And then suddenly go, God, why are people so upset with me? It's because you lacked offering value to people.
I fear I blacked out. Let's do a shoe haul. I tried FaceTiming my best friend. She's at a doctor's appointment, so I'm FaceTiming you guys instead. And I'm going to try them all on for you. If you are somebody that does not like designer hauls, then this is not the video for you. Just keep scrolling. See you next time. As always, oh yeah, cracking a cold one. You guys, I have not gone shoe shopping for myself outside of sneakers in such a long time. I'm so giddy right now. This is like Christmas Day for me. This might be the most out of touch video that I've posted in a very long time, but I don't care.
See exactly what I'm talking about. This might be the most out of touch video I make, but I don't care. I give back a lot. It's the tone. You see what I'm saying? The wording doesn't feel correct.
I give back a lot. I can buy myself nice shoes. This haul is going to be such a mix of different types of shoes, but I've just been kind of like developing my style recently at the age of 35 all over again since losing 65 pounds. And I wanted to build my shoe collection out for the end of summer and fall. Okay, first is a pair of Manolos. I'm gonna say it about every single one, but I'm obsessed. Look at how beautiful, so feminine, backless, so comfortable. The heel height is amazing, and it's black suede, which is perfect for fall. The shoe is just so comfortable, and it's just like an elevated, more elegant sandal. So pretty. Next, we have a pair of Miu Mius, and there's a reason behind why I bought these. So I have a version of this shoe in white leather. It has been my most worn shoe for the entire summer. I got it in this brown, like caramel suede. I think it's so perfect for fall. These are the ones that I have in white, and I wear them, I would say 5 days a week. They've become just like my casual summer shoe, which is something that I'm proud of myself, because if I'm gonna buy something nice, I wanna wear it all the time. I don't want to sit around and collect dust. I wanna get my money's worth. So I bought that same pair in this brown suede, and I think it's so perfect for fall. Next, we have a pair of Saint Laurents. Okay, so again, I bought this shoe because I own it in black, and I wear it all the time in black. Oh my God, this color. You can't tell me that's not like the most creamiest, dreamiest, chocolatiest brown ever for fall. And they're so comfortable. I'm definitely in an era of my life where it does not matter how cute the shoe is. I bought a pair of Tom Ford shoes last week. They were so uncomfortable, I immediately returned them. Like, it does not matter. I am not willing to give up my comfort. It has to be comfortable. Low key, I need an eyeshadow this color. Okay, you guys have to help me with this one, okay? This is a pair of Alaya heels. I am obsessed with this shoe, but I need your opinion. Should I exchange them for black? Because I just got them.
So far, I understand the video that she's trying to do with engaging with an audience, and she does it significantly better than Mikayla, for example, trying to ask for their opinion. What do they think? She did mention giving back. I don't really like how she said it, but you get the vibe. My point is, though, is I do think also, this is the same influencer where we talked about recently, where Jaclyn also was somebody getting on like, why does no one care about my content anymore? My engagement is low. But when you do so many hauls hauls and videos like this, no one's going to really care as much because again, it's, are you giving something to a viewer and providing some level of value? And here's one thing I want to point out actually, because there was a video that Jacqueline also made that was discussing this because people were like, well, you should be giving back. And she's like, well, I do. And I want to say this, okay? And I do not think that someone is owed to constantly show what they're doing behind scenes. It really depends on how you're doing it. But again, it could potentially be exploitative with showing off all the good that you're doing. But I will say, if you're willing to get on and show everything else online, I don't know why you're not also willing to try and find a tasteful way of showing how you're giving back to the community, because that would also, I think, make people feel better, right? This is also kind of wild because it does feel really weird because on this other side that we were discussing with people who didn't have money and then blew up and now they do, and they're now like a new form celebrity that didn't just have it always, it does feel really out of touch. And I understand how people could feel very uncomfortable seeing somebody act as if like they've forgotten community, they've forgotten their audience now. Yeah, if you're willing to show off thousands of dollars in a shoe haul, why can't you say, hey guys, look at me, we're gonna go do, the Angel Tree haul, or look, we're gonna be donating this amount of money. Hey, I wanna let you guys know as an influencer, this is what I'm doing. Like, all I'm gonna say is at some point when I have it like that, hoping I do, we're gonna be getting videos that this is what I donated to this month. Like, you know what I mean? Just to show that, because it's not hard. I also think is why the Angel Tree videos, if you guys did or didn't see, popped up so well on TikTok. There was a trend of people going and buying from the Angel Tree and giving gifts to kids for Christmas, which I love. I think that's amazing. But I think it did so well also, not just because people are giving back, but because we finally were seeing more like giving back to community, which we should see with influencers. Like, I want to see your day in life. If you do something crazy or you get on the, Emirates flight to go to Dubai, I want to see that. But I also want to know what you're doing for the community. I also want to know how you're giving back because you were able to go for the community. And I want to say this, and this as someone who I have worked incredibly hard for my stuff. I know I have exhausted and busted my ass. But at the end of the day, people had to choose to be here. I think influencers sometimes that forget that is, well, yes, they can absolutely work hard for what they have. A lot of people are working hard and not making a lot of money, period. You worked really hard as an influencer and you somehow were able to make it do really good and you exceeded and beat all odds. And that's amazing and applaudable and not something that you should forget. But don't forget where you came from, right? Don't forget that people had to choose to support you, and that is the reason why you're here. Because I have busted my ass, but people choose to watch me and support me. And that's a big reason why I exist, can function well, and like make the money that I do, flat out. But that is lost in translation because people are so quick to show off a haul and say a quick little, well, I did something good today, but not showing any efforts of that. But when we're so much more willing to show off the efforts of the fun little hauls that we do, it feels very backward. So honestly, the quick question is, where do we draw the line, right? Where do things stop? And I think it's, again, down to very simple things about considering and reading the room, which I think creators, if you want to connect to an audience, you have to do that. But additionally, it's how you say things. I 100% think that when it comes to the creators who have grown into money and never really had it. I also think that certain creators who are already significantly rich and were just born into that need to, again, consider their audience. And well, it may be entertaining for a bit. Why do we not have more of a goal and drive to do better with our money? Why do we not have a goal to offer more if you're going to be online? I don't really have a lot of sympathy for people who get flamed when they're already pre-rich because like you chose to get online and post up about nothing but money. And you're surprised that people are complaining about that. You know what I mean? Like, you chose to step in, you could easily log off and enjoy your money in silence. So if you're gonna do it, consider other people. Moral of the story, I don't like how this is being treated as just a casual game for some people when it needs to be reeled in and remembered of who you are, where you started in the first place, and the people that watch you. Because I'm telling you right now, if you never forget the human beings that are there for you since day one, if you never forget the community that supports you and what they're going through as well, I don't think you could ever fail. I think you will always be able to be in touch and connect because there's a wide variety of influencers who are amazingly like successful and they're rich as shit, but they always connect and offer something fun to viewers and audience members that makes it feel like it's a friend, not just someone that they're watching that's just significantly above them. That's my hot take when it comes to the rich influencer epidemic and why we obsess over them so much. I believe people need to handle their conversations and their content better and more considerate of the audience that put them in the position to be so rich and successful. And even if you weren't put in that position because of an audience, you have the money, do with it well. And so considering other experiences outside of your own is what makes a true good content creator. And it's what makes somebody worth following and subscribing to. So that was it for today's video. I think you guys can hear my neighbor dog over there. Mine is currently asleep right now. But I hope you guys had a wonderful day. Thank you guys so much for watching today's video. What do you guys think, right? Do you have any hot takes? Do you have any perspectives on this? I was just hoping we could keep as much of a level-headed but interesting hot take when it comes to this discussion. And yeah, I hope you guys enjoy. Stay safe. Have fun this weekend. I love you guys so much. Don't forget to check out the sponsor and link in the description below and pin comment. And I will see you guys in the next video. Okay, I'm gonna go down my coffee. Bye.